Welcome to the 2016 Fall Commencement Ceremony for the Kansas State University Polytechnic campus. Please rise as we honor one of the oldest known traditions in commencement exercises, both for Kansas State University and for institutions of higher education around the world. Tonight's ceremony will begin with bagpipe music from Selenian Terry Ferguson. Our procession begins with the Kansas State Polytechnic Mace. The mace, a symbol of university scholarship and integrity since the 11th century, reminds us that education is one of the most cherished attributes of a free and democratic society. The mace is carried this evening by Teresa Hartman, instructor of mathematics and recipient of the 2016 Marchbanks Memorial Award for Teaching Excellence. Following Mrs. Hartman are Dr. Verna Fitzsimmons, CEO and Dean of Kansas State Polytechnic; Richard B. Myers, President of Kansas State University and tonight's keynote speaker; Brad Seidner, Senior Vice President and COO of the K-State Alumni Association; Dr. Kurt Barnhart, Associate Dean of Research and Engagement; Dr. Dorothy Durband, Director of the School of Family Studies and Human Services; and Dr. Alicia Starkey, Associate Dean of Undergraduate Studies and Interim Director for the School of Integrated Studies. The Kansas State Polytechnic faculty follows the platform party. They are led by Faculty Marshal Bill Gross. Please honor the graduating class as they now enter. They are led by Student Marshal and Student Governing Association President Elliot Rogers. Will the audience please remain standing for the national anthem, sung by Eric Cole.
the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You may be seated. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Regents and the faculty and the staff of Kansas State University Polytechnic campus, I extend a warm welcome to our candidates for graduation, their family and their friends, and to all of our guests. I'm hoping this is a night that you all remember and you all cherish. Graduating class, you have accomplished a considerable amount during your time here, and we're here to recognize your commitment to making education and your college experience matter. Thank you for your diligent work. Thank you for your involvement on campus and for your expression and your purple pride. This night really does belong to you. So let's begin this celebration of your many accomplishments and celebrating your future to come.
Kansas State University is a land-grant public research university committed to teaching and learning, research, and service to the people of Kansas, the nation, and the world. Our collective mission is best accomplished when every member of the university community acknowledges and celebrates the dignity and value of diversity. We each have our own story that shapes who we are and who we will be in the future. As a part of our long-standing commencement traditions, Kansas State Polytechnic invites a member of our Student Governing Association to provide their personal perspective about graduation. Elliot Rogers is this year's re-elected SGA president. He is a senior studying airport management. Prior to becoming a Wildcat, Elliot attended Johnson County Community College in Overland Park, Kansas, where he was a leader in student governance and represented the student body on several committees, boards, and work groups. Elliot was born and raised in Davis, California, where he was a national fencing finalist and worked also as a graphical artist. He also participated in the Civil Air Force Auxiliary Program in their cadet program. At Kansas State Polytechnic, along with leading SGA, Elliot is a resident assistant and member of Christian Challenge. He also graduated from the United States Marine Corps Officer Candidate School in Quantico, Virginia this past summer. Elliot's future plans include flying in the Marine Corps and then moving into a Marine Corps unit command or working as a civilian at a large airport or in a corporate flight department. It is my pleasure to introduce Student Governance Association President Elliot Rogers.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming today. Students, faculty, staff, family, and friends, thank you all for being here to see us through this consummation. We're grateful for the support of everyone present here today, and we hope you enjoy this commencement. We hope you enjoy seeing us through these final steps here at K-State Polytechnic and enjoy seeing us succeed. I have watched many students over our semesters. I see changes as they progress, standing a little taller, stepping a little more confidently, and speaking up a little more quickly. Today, my peers walking in have stood taller than I have seen them before, so we hope that you do notice. I enjoy learning about people, looking them in the eye, and getting to know them as individuals. As I look into the eyes of each student, I see two things. First, I see a story. I see a story that makes that student the person they are today, a story that makes them unique. They have faced challenges and have overcome obstacles. They have had moments of disappointment and of perseverance. Being a successful student takes discipline, confidence, determination, some would say stubbornness, and sacrifice. It takes putting off and sometimes denying yourself gratification when you feel like you need it most. Being a successful student is a formidable journey that can leave strong impressions, unforgettable moments, and also scars. But when a student arrives at college classes, they can already have quite a story. Since I started my studies, I have heard some amazing stories and have gotten to know some really amazing people. So take a moment to think about the people sitting around you. Remember that each of them has, in one way or another, had the odds stacked against them, but despite that, is here to be with us. Looking my peers in the eye, I see a story that has brought them this far. But I see there's also a goal that will get us the rest of the way. A goal that has kept us moving forward, sometimes kept us looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, sometimes the reason we think of to make ourselves get up in the morning. Always the reason we are proud to wear purple. Every one of us has a different story that has brought us here, but each one of us has the same goal to see us through. And everyone who walks across this stage today will be completing that goal. Goals are why we're here. Goals are why we have been here all along, learning and bettering ourselves. We are meeting a goal today, but it will not be long that we stay focused on this goal after completion. Not long that we let ourselves look back at the challenges we faced and overcame to be where we are. Soon, we will be looking forward at another goal, another challenge, another mountain to climb. We will be looking forward and looking to persevere again, because that is what we have learned to do, and I would not have it any other way. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Tonight, we are extremely privileged and we're proud to have tonight's keynote speaker with us. He's someone that we will be seeing more and more often on the campus. Richard B. Myers was named the 14th president of Kansas State University in November after serving as our interim president for about 7 months. President Myers is a retired 4-star general in the United States Air Force who served as the 15th chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff from 2001 to 2005. As the nation's highest ranking military officer, Myers served as the principal military advisor to the President, the Secretary of Defense, and the National Security Council. Prior to becoming chairman, Myers served as vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was born and raised in Merriman, Kansas. President Myers is a graduate of K-State, where he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. I won't tell you the year. He earned a master's degree in Business Administration from Auburn University and has studied at the Air Force Command and Staff College at Maxwell Air Force Base, at the U.S. Army War College at Carlisle Barracks, and at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, where he completed a program for senior executives in national and international security. President Myers joined the Air Force in 1965 through ROTC program at K-State, after which he entered pilot training at Vance Air Force Base. A command pilot, he has more than 4,100 hours of flying. On November 9th, 2005, President Myers received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Myers is married to the love of his life for over 50 years, Mary Jo, who is also a K-State graduate and a Manhattan native. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our speaker, President Richard B. Myers.
I feel compelled to raise this. Oh, well, maybe not. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, thank you all very much to our graduates, to faculty, to staff, to Dean Fitzsimmons, to all the family members out here. What a joyous evening this is. You know, it's an honor to be president of Kansas State. It's an even bigger honor to participate in ceremonies like this, because one of the reasons I changed from interim to putting my name in the hat for being the full-time president was the fun I was having. And there's nothing more fun than graduation, because you see the fruits of lots of labor. You see over there above their heads lots of light bulbs that have come on over the last several years. They're shining brightly, and they're going to stand us in good stead as they take on the challenges that we all face. So it's a real honor to be your president. It's also a particular honor to be here tonight and be with you tonight. A couple of comments here. When I was thinking about what do I say, I went back to my graduation year, 1965. She was not going to say it. It was 51 years ago, I guess, basically. And I thought about what was the world that I entered then, and how did we think about it? Some of you will not remember 1965, but I'm going to remind you, or the 60s. I'll remind you of the 60s here a little bit. It was a year, or that was a decade, where our president was assassinated, John F. Kennedy. It was a year when his brother, running for president, the Attorney General, was assassinated. It was a year when Martin Luther King was assassinated. It was a year where a decade when our time in Vietnam began. Very controversial, of course, here in the United States and worldwide. It was the Cold War, where we lived under sort of the fear of a nuclear holocaust of some sort. So that was sort of the daily, or at least weekly or monthly thoughts we'd be thinking about, could this be a nuclear war right around the corner? Those were the kind of things that we thought about. And of course, a lot of those, Vietnam and the civil rights movement, there was a lot of division in this country. And if you just took a snapshot of that century and said, wow, we don't have much hope as a nation, you'd have been wrong, because there was a lot of people that worked very hard, a lot of dollars spent, a lot of lives lost, unfortunately, and a lot of intellectual energy used to try to fix that. And I think for the most part, some of those things I mentioned, we have done a fair job of fixing. So let's come forward 51 years. What do you all face, and how's it compare? And so the first thing that comes to me, of course, is we just came out of a political campaign where we are probably more divided politically and wider division than I've been in my lifetime, or that I've noticed. And so we are divided, a lot like the decade of the 60s. We've come to realize that this global warming thing is perhaps real and perhaps caused by humans, and that we're on a path that if we don't do something about it, life could be a lot different in the future as we try to survive on this planet of ours. We've got economic issues. We've had them for many years now. One of which is just providing everybody in society some share of economic prosperity. We've got fiscal issues in this country that we have not solved yet, and we'll see how that goes. We've got energy issues. You know, how are we going to use energy sources that are more friendly to the environment? So we've got all these issues. The rest of the world, poverty, disease, hunger. You can't pick up a paper without seeing refugees moving around in various parts of the world, including the Middle East in particular, but Africa and other places where people are and families are really suffering. And I would say, from a security standpoint, yes, the Cold War is over, but the uncertainty today in our security situation is worse than it was then. And so we have to live with that, the threat of violent extremism and so forth. And as Tom Friedman said a long time ago, the world is flat. So we're now much more connected 51 years later than we were in the 60s. And that connection makes our problems, I think, more complex, and a lot of ambiguity introduced as well. So yes, we had our challenges 51 years ago. You've got really pretty serious challenges today. I'm not one of those that, in fact, I vigorously argue when I hear folks say, and I think very uninformed people, well, our youth today you know, they're just not going to be up to the task of making the world any better. I've been working with youth, of course, in the military, but then since I retired, I've taught at National Defense University. I did some teaching at Kansas State, visited other universities and ROTC programs, wherever they would ask me to go. Let me tell you, I am so impressed with today's youth, and we have the cream of the crop right here graduating from college. They're up to this task. I am not a bit depressed about where we're headed in the future. I think my grandchildren, who are quite a bit younger than these folks, of course, I think they're going to be led well into all these challenges. And because when you have challenges, you got opportunities, and opportunities to make things better. And I think your education here at Polytechnic is going to stand you in good stead and stand all of us in good stead. The one thing we are going to demand of you, I think, is your leadership. We need, and the world needs your leadership, and we need it desperately. And you're perfectly prepared to lead. You've already exhibited some of that. I'm going to give you 3 kinds of leadership things I'd like to talk about. The first one is you got to lead with integrity. So character counts. I remember what my dad said when I brought a particularly bad report card home from, that's the days where they'd send them home to your parents, from engineering at K-State. He looked at it and he says, well, at least we know you're not cheating. And I said, that's right. And it was true. And for the moms and dads out there that wish your sons or daughters' grades were a little bit higher and hoping for that, there's real hope for C students. So, you know, if maybe one of them can grow up to be president of a university someday. I got serious later, but that's, for a while there, I was definitely in the C category. So leading with integrity, you're going to be tested. You've probably already been tested in life. There's lots of temptations out there that if you're not of strong character, if you don't have great integrity, you're going to succumb. I remember when I was a captain in the United States Air Force, a young captain stationed in Okinawa flying F-4 Phantoms, and they came to us towards the end of the fiscal year, and they said, listen, we've got all this training money, but we're not going to be able to finish all our training events. And higher headquarters expects us to finish all our training events. So all you pilots, I don't care what you do, but you come back and you log them, all those events. And I'm thinking, this is the United States Air Force, and they just asked us to lie. And so you have to, and there was some pressure from your squadron commander, by the way, to falsify official documents, government documents, which you could be court-martialed for. Not unusual in this was in the 70s, not unusual in that time frame, but you have to decide where you're going to stand. You're going to have to decide if you're going to rely on your values that you've grown up with, you've learned from your families, from your church, from school here at Polytechnic, and if you're going to make a stand or if you're going to cave. And the kind of leaders we need are those that are going to stand on their values and lead with character. It's not always easy. The example I gave is pretty easy. I could hide in the crowd and they could criticize me later, but that's okay. I mean, obviously it didn't hold me back too far, but some things are more serious, where your progress in a certain profession may be at risk, but your character will be tested. So be ready. Lead with integrity, character. 2, I think you ought to lead selflessly. Nobody likes to work for somebody where it's all about them and about them getting ahead. My guess is you've had lots of jobs. My guess is you've worked for people that are kind of the servant leader category, and you've also worked for people that it's all about them. And my guess is if we took a survey, you'd say, I prefer the servant leader, not the one it's all about them. I think Martin Luther King said, and I'm going to use him a couple times tonight, he said, life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others? It's an important question to ask yourself as you go through life. What am I doing for others? You got to do things for yourself, got that, but what am I doing for others, whether you're in a leadership position or whatever you're doing? Look over here to this side with the professors and the staff that have enabled you to be here. My guess is, I know some of these folks have done other things in life, come back to teaching. Some have been teachers for a long time, but they're dedicated to you, to imparting their knowledge and trying to cram it in your brain. And I think that's a selfless task. There's things they could do that would probably be much more rewarding in a financial way, but they elected to do this because it's such a noble cause and because they care about you. And so I don't think they have to remind themselves every day who they serve. and what they're doing for others, because here's the evidence. And there's a lot more behind you in a long line that'll be here next spring, next fall, and so forth. So I think this whole notion of thinking about how you're gonna lead in this selfless thing. I'll give you an example that really made an impact on me. After I retired, I was in New York City giving a speech to some investment bankers and their clients. And one of the investment bankers came up and started poking me in the chest and saying, "Well, General Myers, you were the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It must have really bothered you to make so little money for that great responsibility." And I said, "Well, actually, I didn't think it was that little of money. By the way, I know now it was probably not very much money, but at the time I didn't know that." And he said, "No, you must talk about this with your peers all the time. You must talk about how much money you make and debate that all the time." I said, "No, everybody knows in the military, so that's not why we're serving." The young man, he was younger than I was for sure, turned around and walked away, and I'm sure he thought he was talking to somebody that was not in touch with reality or was lying to him. And on the way home, I'm thinking, what motivates me and what motivates that banker? And what motivated him, no doubt, was the bonus check at the end of the year, which was probably $1 million or $2 million or whatever it was, a lot of money. And that was his measure of his self-worth, was what was my bonus check. In life, money's important, you know that, but it's not the most important thing. And so this goes along with this leading in a selfless way, serving the right cause, and being the kind of leader that you would like to work for. So leading with integrity, leading with selflessness, and then the last one would be leading intelligently. And you'd say, well, that's pretty obvious. I got a college degree. I mean, that's going to be obvious. It's not so obvious, is it? Today, it's really hard to find out what's true and what's false. And your job and the preparation that your professors have all made and put into you is to think critically. And so it's not enough just to have passion for something. It's to understand in a critical way what it is you believe and how you learn what you believe. In the news sources, it's getting more and more difficult to figure out what to listen to, what to read. But you've been prepared better than most, and that's why the country is going to look to you to be critical thinkers and be critical leaders in terms of using your intelligence for the right reasons. You have lots of rights as a citizen of the United States, but you also have great responsibility, particularly now that your family, friends, the professors here have enabled you to get to this point in life. So we're going to expect a lot of responsibility going forward. The last thing I would say is it's great to be passionate, but when you think about critical thinking, passion without critical thought is really more dangerous than apathy. So you can be passionate, but you better make sure you got your homework done, so you can be convincing and carry forth and make the kind of impact on others that you would like to have. So those three characteristics I think are important to think about as you go out, and you've had time to think about some of that here, but not really, even in coursework and other things. But it's all about in the rest of your life: character and integrity, leading intelligently, and selfless sort of approach to life. And I think if you think about those things, internalize them, learn from others, pick role models, that you'll be very, very successful and lead us out of some of these challenges that we are dealing with today. So lots of challenges. Martin Luther King again, do you have a dream of how this country could be? And I think that's what you got to ask yourself, because you're so prepared to address a lot of these challenges. Do you have a dream of how this country could be? And challenge yourself, and then go out and make a difference for all of us. That's all we ask, just make a difference for all of us, solve all those problems. So in 51 years, when you're up here, say, here were our problems: energy, environment, security. We solved all that. Here are the new set, because there'll be more. But we really appreciate the work you all did preparing the students. We appreciate your persistence and hard work here to earn your degrees. And thank you very much. Congratulations, and go Cats.
President Myers, it is an honor to have you with us tonight, and we thank you for your thoughtful words of wisdom. We have 6 students graduating with high honors tonight, a distinction represented by their purple and white cords. Please hold your applause until all of these students have been recognized. Students with a 3.95 or above K-State academic average are designated as summa cum laude. If present, would these students please rise and remain standing? Ricardo Ruben Martinez. Trevor Dean Witt. Students with a 3.85 or above K-State academic average are designated as magna cum laude. If present, would these students please rise and remain standing? Kayla Ray Cross. Stephen McGee Hinwood. Travis John Rolfs. Students with a 3.75 or above K-State academic average are designated as cum laude. If present, would these students please rise and remain standing? Austin Michael Bali. Please join me in recognizing these students who have attained this high academic achievement.
It's okay. Now it's time to honor the entire graduating class, who will honor us in the years to come. Along with housing K-State's 9th college, the College of Technology and Aviation, the Polytechnic campus now has the School of Integrated Studies. We are proud of an environment where degree programs collaborate, harmonize students' education, and we better prepare our graduates for their careers and their future. I will now ask President Myers to rejoin me at the podium to confer the degrees for all the graduates.
It is now my honor and privilege to recognize Kansas State Polytechnic's undergraduates. Will all undergraduate candidates please rise and remain standing? Dr. Starkey, please present the degree candidates from the School of Integrated Studies.
On behalf of the faculty of the School of Integrated Studies, I am honored to present these degree candidates.
Thank you, Dr. Starkey. Dr. Durbin, please present the degree candidates from the School of Family Studies and Human Services in the College of Human Ecology.
On behalf of the faculty of the School of Family Studies and Human Services, I'm honored to present these candidates.
Thank you, Dr. Durbin. By the authority of the people of Kansas, the Kansas Board of Regents, recommendation by the faculty upon completion of all degree requirements, I am pleased to confer upon you the respective degrees you have earned at Kansas State University. Congratulations.
Oscar Kirill, Bachelor's in Aviation Maintenance Management. Nicholas Ryan Steffen, Bachelor's in Aviation Maintenance Management. Jacob A. Masters, Bachelor's in Avionics Systems and Management. Scott Michael Agee, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Austin Michael Bali, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot, cum laude. Devin Cray Larm, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot, Certificate in Unmanned Aircraft Systems Operator. Mason Brent McMillan, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Abbas Meki Tai, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Alexander Robert Tidwell, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot, Aviation Safety minor. Ricardo Ruben Martinez, Bachelor's in Unmanned Aircraft Systems, summa cum laude. William Stewart Morgan, Bachelor's in Unmanned Systems Aircraft. Trevor Dean Witt, Bachelor's in Unmanned Aircraft Systems, summa cum laude. David McEldowney, Associate and Bachelor's in Computer Systems Technology. Ashley Jean Beach, Associate and Bachelor's in Digital Media Technology. Samuel Philip Anderson, Bachelor's in Mechanical Engineering Technology. Guston Edward Pakta, Associate and Bachelor's in Mechanical Engineering Technology. Travis John Rolfs, Associate and Bachelor's in Engineering, Mechanical Engineering Technology, magna cum laude. Pamela Barrett, Bachelor's in Technology Management. Jason Ballou, Bachelor's in Technology Management, Associate in Electronic and Computer Engineering Technology. Casey Joe Cook, Bachelor's in Technology Management, Business minor. Leslie Duane Covey, Bachelor's in Technology Management. Natasha Eileen Gawith, Bachelor's in Technology Management, Gerontology Secondary Major. Joelle Ashley Mills, Bachelor's in Technology Management, Business minor. Vernisha L. Walker, Bachelor's in Technology Management. Rachel Frazier, Bachelor's in Family Studies and Human Services. Caitlin Vargas, Bachelor's in Family Studies and Human Services. Kayla Ray Cross, Bachelor's in Personal Financial Planning and Technology Management, Business minor, magna cum laude. Sevda Sabahat Tassi, Bachelor's in Personal Financial Planning, Business minor.
Graduates, we can call you that now. The time has come for you to begin a new chapter in your lives. The ceremony is called Commencement because it's time for you to end this phase of your life and begin or commence the next. You're bright, you're competent, and you're ready to take your place in a society that needs you. We need your intelligence, we need your creativity, we need your enthusiasm, and as President Myers says, your critical thinking. You are prepared to take control of your future. Continue to challenge the status quo as you've been challenged throughout your education here. Enrich our society, that's your charge. And always remember that you are now a member of the elite Kansas State University alumni. Brad Seidner, Senior Vice President and COO of Kansas State Alumni Association, is here to present you with an official university gift. Oh, you did as you crossed the stage. Mr. Seidner, would you like to say a few words?
Well, good evening, graduates. And again, welcome to all the family and friends here tonight. Well, on behalf of the Kansas State Alumni Association, representing over 182,000 living graduates at Kansas State, we'd like to offer each of you our congratulations on your special achievement here tonight. We are also here to welcome you into a new relationship with your alma mater. Our mission at the Alumni Association is to lead and inspire lifelong involvement that will benefit Kansas State University and all members of our Wildcat community. I'd like to share 3 of our core values that guide us in our mission that helps keep you connected to K-State. The first value is link. The Alumni Association provides the lifelong link that alumni depend on to stay connected to your university. You can stay in touch through hundreds of alumni activities here on campus, across the country, and even internationally. Another tradition, or another value, is tradition. Tonight, you will likely celebrate some K-State traditions, such as singing the alma mater, or maybe today, stop and pose for a KSU photo at your favorite spot on campus. And the third value is purple. That's right, K-State purple. Because for us K-Staters, purple is more than a color. It's a symbol of pride and connection. Because when you see somebody wearing K-State purple, or a K-State class ring, or see that purple Power Cat on the vehicle, on the license tag, you immediately feel that sense of family. I'd also like to share that in recognition of your graduation, your college and the Alumni Association are providing you with a complimentary one-year membership to your Alumni Association. And we hope you'll always be an active member of the Alumni Association. K-State alumni are among the most loyal in the nation. In fact, you are now part of one of the top 5 alumni associations in the nation for the percentage of our graduates that are members. Well, that same loyalty is shared worldwide by generations of K-Staters that have the same passion that you feel tonight about Kansas State as you earn your degree from one of the finest universities in the nation. We were also excited to have presented to you tonight an exclusive gift just for our graduating seniors. And we hope you enjoy it, because as you go through life and your titles change, your addresses change, we want you to keep us updated, because we want to make sure that you always stay connected to your K-State family. Again, congratulations on your special accomplishment here tonight. Be proud of your university, wear your purple with pride, and as always, let's go K-State!
Parents, family, friends, you've supported these students, in some cases financially and certainly emotionally. Without your encouragement, this moment would not have been possible. Some of you have traveled short distances, and others of you have traveled halfway across the world to see your loved ones graduate tonight. Will the parents, the spouses, the significant others, the children, all of you that had something to do with these graduates reaching the place that they've gotten to tonight, please stand and be recognized. Faculty and staff, it is time to honor you for the hard work that you have put into this night to make this night happen as well. It's through your dedication to your own academic excellence and your passion for sharing your knowledge that these graduates have learned and grown both on a personal and an academic level. You are the foundation upon which these individuals will build their professional lives. Will the faculty and staff please stand and be recognized? I now ask all the new grads to stand, please. At this time, you may move your tassel to the other side to symbolize your formal graduation. Congratulations, graduates. Yeah. Another important piece of the Kansas State University tradition. Please join these new alumni and myself in singing the alma mater. The song was selected in 1903 as a result of a campus contest and was written by Humphrey W. Jones, who was from the class of 1888. Guests, you can follow on page 3 of the commencement program.
I know a spot which I love full well. 'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell. I think of me alma mater. KSU will carry the banner high. KSU, long, long may the colors fly. Loyal to thee, my children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
A little practice, you'll have it down. Again, congratulations, graduates. This concludes our commencement ceremony.
The audience may remain seated during the recessional. We invite you to join us for a reception honoring our graduates immediately following the ceremony in the concourse. Thank you for attending tonight's commencement.